Now the first thing you want to do is actually put in some developer comments. So just underneath the PHP here, we can put a comment in there, and we can go developer, and then you can put your name. You can put the date in, and you can put in whatever the date you start your project on. So I'm just going to put that date in. And if you want to do some artwork at the end of it, you can just do that just to close off that. Just to close off that header comment area. Now we know that we don't need this PHP info, that's working, and we could ping the server and we got a response from that. But we need to output some information on screen. So the very first thing we had, and I'm just going to put some comments in here, we had a header, which is going to come from header.php. We also had another section which is going to be the main one, or menu.php, and the last section was going to be the footer. Now each of these are going to bring in another file. So how are we going to bring in the other file? Well, we can use a simple command which is include, and then we can actually specify what we want to include. So in this case here, it could be header. Now this file doesn't exist yet, so we need to create this. And also, because it's going to be the header of our document, what I want to do is declare this inside the section of header. So therefore we're still using the HTML tag for header for this section. That'll enable us to create a style sheet for this. And also I can close this section off as well. All I need to do is echo that. So when I create my style sheet, the header will be there. So let's just save this and ping this off our server. Just make sure you got the bracket around the right way. So let's ping this off our server. You can see that we have no information at the moment. That's because there's actually no output. So we can see if it's working. By just putting out a line, test that now. By refreshing the page, this is working. So we know the page is loading correctly, because sometimes we just need a little indicator or a flag just to know that everything's okay, that it's not broken. So the next thing I need to do is create the header.php. To do that, I'm just going to click on my website file, click on the plus, and then I can make header.php. So now I have a blank line again. So in here, I could easily just open up a PHP file and close that, and then I'll just echo a header 1, and then close the header 1 tag off. And always remember to put a semicolon on the end of your line and save that. So the idea is header.php will now be included inside of this file. So when we run index.php, it's going to go down and then call header.php in, and then menu, footer, compile the page and send it back to us. So let's see if this is working. Refresh the page, it's now working. So you got number gets game here. The reason for that is echoed before we include the header. If that was at the bottom, we'll see the header part, and then we'll see this is working. So it helps us segment our code as well and make functions. So we're going to do the same thing for menu and the same thing for footer. So we're not going to create much. All we're going to do is go back up the top here, add a file, and we're going to call it menu.php and go enter. I'm going to copy the same thing from header, paste that in menu, and just change that to menu. Save that, and once again, click on www, add a file. I'm just going to call this one footer.php. I'm going to paste once more and just change this to a title of footer. Save. So index now will call in those pages once I add them in. So I'm going to copy this code down, paste it, and once again paste it. Just going to put a little separator in just by pressing enter so it's easy to see. Rather than including header, we're going to include menu. And we're going to change the div tag area to main. Same with the other one. This will make it easier to style. And obviously this one's going to be footer for the area and footer for the file and footer close. And save that. So let's run this file now. Refresh, and now we've got number guess game, menu, footer. So what we're doing is calling the index.php. It's then putting a title out. It's then going off and collecting the actual header, brings that back, goes out, collects the next one, brings that back, goes out, collects one, brings that back, compiles the page and sends it back to your computer. Now this is all working. I don't need the echo up here. So you can actually just rem that out. Later on you can go through your code and take all those comments out. But I'm just going to rem that, save that. When I refresh now, you'll see that line disappear. And I'm ready now to go, maybe make a title, make it look a little bit more prettier, and then I can work on the menu.